What up, everybody?
What
We're
up?
here for something brand new.
What's up?
Brand new.
Yep. You've never seen this before? We are
Ever.
doing a tier list.
See, I don't even think you pronounced it right. I think it's called Teary.
Tier.
Because it makes you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry. When
I
you're done.
believe it's French. So it would be tier.
Tiare. Tiara.
Oh, totally.
Like princesses. Anyway.
Oh, nice. I'm Anton. That's Casey.
I'm Casey. Yeah. So
yeah.
we're experimenting. We're being a little experimental today. Anton thinks he knows things. Thinks he's a funny guy.
I am funny.
Pretty funny. So we're gonna do a tier list of all Disney Pixar movies.
Hell yeah. Get ready. We're getting crazy. It's our controversial opinions are gonna blow you away.
So that was exactly gonna be what I was gonna ask. Like, do you have anything controversial?
I probably do, but I won't realize it until we talk, and then I'm like, oh shit, yeah, maybe that's kind of crazy that I do think that. But for the most part, I think my opinions are pretty standard. I haven't seen every Pixar film, so there are going to be a couple I'll have to take your word for it, but I've seen enough. I've seen most of these for sure.
Okay.
And
yeah,
if
I
you
think
don't agree with me, I'll kill you. I'll stab you.
Okay, I can't wait to kill you. I think looking at these, I've seen. I think between each other, we've seen all of them. Here's my vote for the rules. I'm kind of all about leaving just one for S tier. How are you on that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay, so just to explain how the tiers are going to work, then everybody, one goat is going to make it to S tier.
Goat.
A, of course, slightly, great, just
Still
not S.
Masterpieces.
Go down till. Do we want to have an F instead, like a DF?
We can add a row.
How do we do that again?
You go to the settings cog on the bottom one.
On this guy?
Yeah, and then you add a row below.
Below.
And then you go to the row.
No,
you're still changing that.
Oh, still changing that one. What color does it need to be?
I know.
And then
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Then this is gonna be
fail. And I already know one that's going in there.
Yep.
You ready?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Toy Story. Fuck you.
That's what I was waiting for.
All right.
That was what I was waiting
all
for.
right. All right. Let's do this in order.
We'll start from the beginning. We'll start from the beginning because this one is going to be a hard one for me. Toy Story 1. Now, your personal opinion, where would you throw it?
Okay, if A's like top of the line, like that's where we're saying like these are the cream of the crop kind of things.
Do you think it's a contender for S?
I would put Toy Story. It's either the very.
It's high. It's a high. It's not a
it's
B.
high. It's high.
So sorry. It's not lower than a B, is what
it's not lower than a B. Yeah. I'm between an A and a B on this one.
I'm there with you. I'm between A and B.
It's great. It's great.
Oh, dude. I mean, the first one right out the gate, they nail it. First one.
Fucking just great.
And it still holds up today. It's a little bit rough around the edges.
The animation
when you look
itself
at the visuals.
it's a little dated just because like it was revolutionary at the time. It paved the way for animation, 3D animation moving forward for the next like 2 decades. So
absolutely. And I mean, it really it wasn't future proof. Like our higher resolution TVs make it look bad. Otherwise, it would look just fine. But I'm gonna stick it with B and with the potential to knock it up.
I think B is good for now. I'll probably put a safe B.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one is a pretty easy one for me.
Okay, so I haven't seen Toy Story 4.
So I'm between a C and a D for it, but I'm gonna lean towards C. It's a fine movie.
Mm-hmm.
It honestly gets a lot of like negative points for just being unnecessary.
Yeah, I think that like after seeing Toy Story 3, I was like, man, I hope they don't make anything.
Yeah, what
else.
a perfect ending, right?
Yeah, like it very like it bookmarked things really well.
Yeah, I see. It's average movie. Like C to me is like the average of average. Like you could see it and have a good time, and then just forget about it.
Totally.
I guess then I don't know if Toy Story 1 is just slightly above. I might Okay, we'll come back to that.
We'll come back.
Yeah, I'm gonna say C, potential for D.
Okay, for sure. Toy Story 2, I'm gonna put that in A.
I mean, is it S potential?
We gotta.
So it is my favorite Toy Story movie.
As you agree,
I mean,
same. It is my favorite.
I'm good
Toy
with
Story.
any potentials being here, and then we could vote.
And we can put it down.
Yeah, we could.
I don't know if I would put it in S. I think I'd definitely put it in A. I don't know if I'd call it an S contender, but it is my favorite Toy Story.
It's such a good movie. It's such a classic.
Goddamn fucking good. Oh,
3 for me.
Fucking that's Prospector and Jesse.
The Process. Stinky
Pete. Toy Story 3.
I'm throwing that in B.
I'm going to put that in B, yeah. I don't like it as much as the first two, but I still think it's pretty great. It's pretty
I think
good.
it's a great ending. It's a great wrap-up.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal wrap-up.
It plays on your nostalgia, but it does it like in a way where you're just like, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That feels right.
It does. It was phenomenal to watch. Now, what about Bug's Life? This is a controversial one.
Okay, so I haven't seen Bug's Life in a while. Well,
okay.
So growing up as a kid, Bug's Life was like my favorite Pixar movie.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that.
It was just like I watched it enough times and I was like, I love this one. It's so good. And then I watched it again in college because my girlfriend at the time hadn't seen it. And I put it on and I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That bad, huh?
It's not like bad. I wouldn't call it a bad movie, but I wouldn't call it like a great Pixar movie, you know?
I mean, man.
It's good. It's good.
So where would you put it?
I would put it probably like in terms of Pixar movies, probably a C tier.
Dang, really?
Maybe no. Yeah,
I respect it. Okay, this is one where I loved it as a kid too, but going back to it, I just found it kind of whatever. I don't really care for Flick as a character.
Okay.
I think that the carnival bugs come in too late. They're kind of the life of the party there.
That's very true. They're
them and
cast.
Kevin Spacey as Hopper.
Yeah.
Kind of the
That's
life
true.
of the movie.
Yeah.
So
good point.
Because of that, I'm good with C.
I think D is also fine, but I don't know where. Yeah, I think it's. We're gonna move these around at the end probably.
Yeah, we're gonna have to adjust because here's the tough one coming up. Boom. I mean, that's
an S tier contender for me.
This is S tier.
Finding Nemo is one of my favorite Pixar films. Like,
you know what I hate is looking at all the ones that are gonna be fighting for this.
there are gonna be a few for sure.
But I'm gonna leave it there for now. Finding Nemo, baby!
Oh my god! Screen clip it. That's it. That's it. Perfect tier list.
That's the tier. Everyone else fail. Okay, but okay, we could probably
Finding Dory. I would put it in a D tier. Really?
That's me.
I would probably put it in C. It wasn't actually. I think D tier's fair. It's
it's hard to I think it's a less than average movie. I think that it's mostly boring. I think that the characters like.
Yeah, you know what? The more you say it, when I'm like, would I put it below Bug's Life? I'm like, I remember Bug's Life.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like, ugh.
It wasn't
bad. I'll say that, and that's really all it's got going. That's what prevents it from being a fail tier.
Sure. I mean, if we want to put it like that, I'm gonna leave it at less than average movie. That's where I'm at.
It definitely doesn't live up to like Pixar standards. So I can respect that. Yeah, I'll agree with D tier.
Cool. We're getting close to one of the most controversial ones. I'm excited. So,
okay, Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. This is a very good one.
I'd put it at least in A tier.
At least in A.
I really love Monsters Inc. I don't think it's one of my favorites, but I think it's fucking really goddamn good.
See, I was leaning towards B. Give me an A reason.
Okay. So you have a film that is it's really just like this character focus on more so Sully. Just like learning to like question the system for like someone he's just met, and I think that's a really strong premise. I love I love Mike and Sully's like back and forths. I think the bits are incredible. I think that like the story is so heartfelt, but it doesn't like, I feel like it doesn't try hard to like get at your heart, like pull at your heartstrings, like unnecessarily, like force any of that emotion, but you feel it. You feel all of this stuff. You feel like you're like introduced to this whole system, and you're like, why is the system like this? And at the end, that system changes in a way that feels very earned. I'm just very happy. I just really like it. I just really like it, Casey. You know, can I not love these characters?
No.
Can you tell me that John Goodman does not fucking kill it as Sullivan?
Well, not as good as Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal is Mike Wazowski is, in fact, a goated character for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you to concede with me on later ones. I'm gonna take your A.
This is a bargaining chip.
This is a quid pro quo. Ready?
Okay.
Because in a few movies, I may need to enact.
I did not know that there was an economy. I feel like I played my hand a little too quickly, but I'll accept it.
But I also don't hate where you played it.
Okay, for sure.
I do not hate that.
Okay. I get that.
Monsters U. After all the praise you just had for the first one, how do you feel about this one?
D tier, probably.
D, huh?
Can you tell me what happens in Monsters University? Can you tell me who the antagonist of the film is?
Uzma Kappa. Or was Uzma Kappa the good guys? They might have been the good guys.
I don't even know what the fuck you're saying. Is that's the fraternity?
That's the fraternity names? Yeah, I want to say that's
shit.
the bad guys. It's either the good guys or the bad guys fraternity. I agree. This was a very forgettable movie.
Yeah.
I remember enjoying it the first time I watched it, but like I think it's because I was so excited to see the characters again.
That's fair.
But like I just they felt like
it was like kind of fun at times. There were moments where I was like, oh, that's okay, cool.
I wouldn't call it a failure.
No.
All right, so we can just skip through this one.
That's an S.
On to the
Yeah,
next.
we not. Nobody's gonna argue.
Who's gonna fight that? Who's gonna fight that?
Who are you?
I mean, it's not just one of the best Pixar movies in the world. It's one of the best superhero movies.
It's just such an insanely well-written film. Every single time that I watch it, I'm like, holy shit! How did they pull off, like, making this? Like, it just comes together so perfectly as a screenplay. It feels really insanely mature for like an earlier Pixar film.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, not even just in themes, but like also in content. Like, a lot of those superheroes straight up die in front of you.
Oh,
like,
yeah, you see like one of their like skeletons, and then you just see where he finds out that all of them have been like targeted and killed.
Absolutely.
Like, holy shit. Like, what the fuck?
I did see a meme or like a picture online the other day where it was showing the part where the robot first had Mr. Incredible, like when he was still kind of like undercover with it.
Yeah.
And he's pulling, like the robot's like stretching Mr. Incredible, and it stretches to the point where it cracks his back, right? And then he's like, oh, thank you. And then he beats the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Someone was like, the implications of the scene is that this robot had been trained up to kill supers. It's very likely that they're implying that one of the supers died to that.
Oh.
And it's like, man, I didn't even think about that. That is gross.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah, that's freaky.
Amazing movie. And I mean, we didn't gush enough about Nemo either.
We didn't. But I would love to talk about Nemo when we like compare and contrast, because it is just
it deserves it. What a phenomenal journey movie.
Yeah.
It makes me actually kind of like Ellen DeGeneres.
I forgot about Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Incredibles 2, and unfortunately, in my opinion, a somewhat weak sequel. I could put it in average to B. I could put it somewhere between there.
Okay, so this is going to be where we will butt heads a bit.
Okay, bring it on.
I think it's a very deserving F tier film.
F? No.
Yeah.
I will not concede on an F. There's no chance.
You know what? Steven. I hated this film so much.
I think you need to watch it again. It's got some stuff going for it.
It really feels so all over the place. I mean, you know, put aside the first film, which, like, when you compare the two, it's like night and day, obviously.
Yeah.
Because they're never going to strike lightning twice like that.
Yeah.
With the same, like, the same universe, I feel. But, like, it feels like such an unnecessary continuation for things. The villain's motivations make zero sense to me. The themes that they're exploring don't feel cohesive at all. I don't really like any of the new characters all that much. Like, they're fine, they're okay, but like, you see, I saw the twist coming like immediately, and it's not like if a twist is obvious it's bad, but like the twist felt pointless, and I was just like, why does this villain do what they do? What the reason that they give doesn't make any sense to me, and it doesn't make me enjoy any of it. The only thing I will say that I enjoyed about this film is the Elastigirl stuff was pretty damn cool.
It was cool.
The animation itself is really good.
Yeah,
I can't.
They're all very good.
Like, that's Pixar though. If we're doing this on a Pixar tier list, I'm like, that's they're all gonna have good animation. Something's gotta like just go down there, you know.
So yeah. So what I pose with this one is, yes, the stuff with Elastigirl is cool. The stuff with Bob, like, now, you know, he really wants superheroes to be back in the limelight, right? They get this opportunity, but unfortunately he's not the one doing it, and now he has to deal with, like, his arc is very fun in that regard. He has to deal with raising the kids, and there's a few funny scenes with it, but mostly you see him like losing his mind, working hard, just like it's a necessary step to go through. Not that he hates his kids, of course. It's just, you know, you see that he would rather be in her spot. He would rather be the one out there in the limelight. She's getting
the limelight. That kind of thing.
I love looking into that, because I mean, in the first one, it's all about how he was already breaking the rules. He was already going against it, but now he's like, it shows his progression from the first one. He learned, like, there are importance to the guidelines, right? The rules set up.
Yeah.
But now that he's trying to follow it, it's hard for him. And I really like that. Yes, I agree. The villain in this one's very lame. It is probably the weakest part of the movie, unfortunately.
It's just like, it feels like it's wasting my time at points, and that makes me angry irrationally.
Yeah, I tell you what.
I'm willing to compromise with you on this.
I mean, if D's I can get you up to, I'll take it, because I'm not about to fight too hard for this movie. I was thinking C, but I'll leave it.
We could put it at like the top of D, because at least I remember this film, and I think that it does have some interesting things to say that the other two in D tier definitely don't.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay,
If that's where we got to be, that's where we got to be.
Okay,
Snow, you owe me two.
I owe you two? Oh my god, what?
She's stacking up quick, baby.
Okay, fair.
All right. So, Cars 1.
I really don't see it going past D tier. Yeah, I will say, I would put it above Finding Dory.
So I always forget that tier lists are read like that. My bad.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I hate the idea. I hate the idea of Cars. I hate thinking about how the movie works. I hate thinking about the world. I like some of the jokes. I didn't feel
it's kind of fun.
I didn't feel pissed.
It's kind of
I
funny
didn't feel pissed watching it. Right?
Sure.
Like, I wasn't like, oh, this is a waste of time. But I did not enjoy it.
The thing I like the most that came from this is the memes. With one being Cussy, which I love. We gotta love Cussy. And then the Groomer McQueen memes. Have you seen those?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
So stupid.
Should we add a tier for didn't see?
If neither of us have seen it, yeah, we should probably.
Did you see Cars 2?
Not fucking. Who?
Cars 3.
Why would I ever see the sequels to the Cars film? In what world? Let's just put Cars tier. Cars. Yeah.
There we go.
Cars.
Yeah, I heard number 2 was very bad. I heard number 3 was decent.
I heard number 3 was actually had some like cool plot line with the doc whatever guy. I don't even remember him much honestly from the first one. So like cool. Great. Maybe I'll watch it someday and be like, oh, you know what? That was actually pretty okay.
I probably won't.
Yeah.
I know you can't read it, but that says Cars. All right. Now on to this one.
Amazing. Okay, so I think we've talked about this before, and I feel like this is gonna be tough because you're gonna make me come down. I feel. I am gonna kind of fight you tooth and nail on this one. I would put it in A tier because I think Ratatouille is a fantastic film.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for that quid pro quo. I'm gonna invoke that. I'm invoking that right now.
What is it, man? What is it about Ratatouille that doesn't fill you with joy?
I was not having fun. It was boring to me. Oh, I don't care for his character. Now, I'll tell you what I love about Ratatouille. Ratatouille got dark. Ratatouille was not afraid to get dark.
What?
There's a moment where like the brother of Remy is showing Remy like the like, hey, look, humans suck, dude. And he goes and there's dead rats hanging by their necks, gallows style.
Yeah.
I appreciate
that is true. That does happen. That's really fucked up moment, actually.
It was. I appreciated that. And also the beginning has like the woman in the house like shooting Remy with a freaking shotgun.
Yeah. That's a crazy opening.
Okay. But on the real, I do appreciate, I think the ending does kind of like, does do a lot to fix this movie.
Yeah, the ending's really not. It's funny because I was talking to our buddy Kevin, and like he was telling me about how he saw this like thing where they're talking about like, you know, the movie's kind of messed up where they're like, you know, like, oh man, it doesn't matter if someone's starving, like you gotta pay for the food or whatever. Like these rats are like going hungry to the point of starvation, and Remy like still like moralizes it like, I know you're my family and you're starving, but I'm not gonna get food for you. It's like such a hard line that he draws. You're like, Jesus, man, it's actually kind of fucked up. Yeah. So on that, with thinking with this in mind, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm willing to let it come down because fuck Remy for that. It was pretty fucked up, Remy.
A little fucked up, Remy. That's definitely not the focus of the movie, obviously.
No, it's definitely 100% not.
I think that was an unintended side effect. I'm gonna say B. I'm gonna throw it at top. I'll give you top B.
Why? You don't have to make concessions, man. You can.
Not going to.
I don't want you to keep giving me concessions
because I regretted that. I regretted that immediately. The moment I did it, it felt gross.
Oh my god! I threw up. All right.
If it was up to me, I would say C. Genuinely, like that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Gosh, that's rough. That's rough, buddy.
I just didn't. I look. So for everyone who doesn't know, which is everyone, I saw it recently-ish. Like I'm talking within the past 2 years for the first time, and like. I'd expected more because I knew a lot of people loved it, but I just couldn't get into it.
That's fair. I think a lot of people do hype it up as like the best Pixar film, and I think you have to be a very like particular film person to really believe that. I think.
Yeah.
But
anyway, don't mind me.
Yeah, I mean, dude, come on.
I mean, this is genuinely my favorite Pixar movie. Not just my favorite Pixar movie. I think this is my favorite animated movie of all time.
Damn.
Maybe it just hit me at the right age or something, but...
No, that's fair. That's totally fair.
I freaking love it. Gorgeous spectacle. The first half of it is silent and tells...
I do love motion. I think the first half is the best part of the film.
It sells the movie. A lot of people, fairly so... A lot of people have said that like the second half of the movie kind of hurts it in their opinion. Like,
I get it. I don't agree with them fully, but I understand their criticisms.
I can get some people being like that. Like they see how cool the first half is. You kind of wish that they would keep with that momentum with the just two robots experiencing the world type thing. But I think that for the sake of their message, I think it was more important to have these humans there. And even though it did slow down the pacing a little bit once it hit there.
Yeah.
I still think it was worth it.
I think for what it was,
Phenomenal
it's
movie.
just it's so good. I can't
It's
even
hard.
that part doesn't ruin it for me at all. I think if anything, I'm just like, you know what? That's a cool little additional like thing to think about. Like, wow, what a nice little added
kind
stuff.
of it has its parts here and there. I mean,
Yeah,
some
totally.
good jokes. I love the way that Wall-E interacts with like the other robots.
Oh my
there.
dude, the way that it all is just so like clearly communicated. These are robots, mind you. Like just very subtle like movements in the faces of these robots, which like they don't have a whole lot to express, but you like understand everything so perfectly, and you're like, wow, and you empathize so much with these robots. I care so much about Wall-E. The end made me cry so hard.
Oh, dude, I was bawling.
Yeah,
I mean
I
that's
mean, yeah.
that's most Pixar movies. I think I cried, definitely cried. I cried like a baby. I actually think I cried in this one like the most.
I definitely cried for Monsters Inc., Wall-E, Toy Story. I probably outside of those, and then one coming up where I definitely cried the most out of anything I've ever seen.
Did we just get there?
Oh wait, oh yeah, sorry. Two that I've cried probably the most out of anything I've ever seen.
I mean, so let's get to Up. Up is a one where the first 10 minutes of the movie could just be the movie and everyone would leave
I
satisfied.
do think that the first 10 minutes of the movie are the peak of the film.
I agree.
However, I still think it's a pretty damn good movie.
I think it plateaus at a fine area. Like, so if you're talking peak, right, like the first 10 minutes is like up here, right?
Yeah.
And then it goes, and then it goes. And then I think it falls down to like here. And I think it just stays there perfectly.
I
like
definitely,
above average, right?
I'm cool with putting it in a B tier. I don't think it like quite lives up to like, oh, this is like it's not Toy Story 2. It ain't Monsters Inc. for me.
No, I can't be.
But gosh darn it, I do like it.
It's such a good one.
It's a fun one. It's really fun. It's really heartwarming, and you just like you feel things, and you're like, wow, I'm glad that I felt that. That makes me happy.
Absolutely, it's a great movie. The characters are fun. It's not much to say about it. Let's go on to Brave because I have some feelings.
Okay, I've only seen Brave. I only saw Brave like when it was in theaters. And what I remember about it was I think what a lot of people felt was I was like, oh, that's what the movie's about, which I think it really did suffer from its advertising.
Yes.
It definitely was advertised as this like weird, cool, crazy adventure thing, and it was a lot more grounded. I don't think it was bad. I enjoyed it. I don't have any desire to really watch it again, but I liked it. It was neat. It was neat and fun.
I'm with you in that, like, when I first saw it, I mean, with a lot of people, it was not the movie that was promised. It's not even, what I hate is a lot of people they seem to only blame, like, the trailers for the movie.
Yeah.
But look at this picture right now. Look at this picture of this movie and tell me that doesn't sell, like, a freaking like adventure story.
Oh yeah, you're thinking like, oh my gosh, it's about to be so crazy epic. She's gonna have this like cool, like the way that it's like set in a very like fantasy adjacent Scotland with I mean, even in the film it has like a lot of fantastical elements, and you're like, oh, that's super cool. I'm prepped for this thing.
Yeah.
And it definitely does not do that.
No. Unfortunately not. So I'm C. I'm C.
Yeah, I think C tier.
It was a movie.
It was a movie. It was a movie, and I definitely remember it in a way that isn't like bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Moving on, Inside Out. I really, really liked it, but I don't know if I liked it enough to call it S or maybe even A.
Yeah. I think I'm with you there. You know, when it came out, a lot of people were like, this Pixar is so bad. Like, this is the best I've seen in ages. And I was like, you know what? I don't know. I liked it a lot. I think B tier would be a solid place to put it. Yeah. I think I find it very similar to Up in that way. I'm like, yeah, that was like a good meal. And like, I would show my kids that for sure, because I think it has a lot of great things to say.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel happy when I watch it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Bing Bong. I love Bing Bong. Everybody loves Bing Bong.
So have you seen it again since?
I haven't.
Okay.
I've only seen it like a couple times when it came out. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh well, okay. That basically, I was just asking if you've seen it more. I've
seen more than once. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot the first time, and I actually liked it more the second time I watched it because I kind of caught on to some of the quicker things that I didn't notice the first time.
Yeah.
They were very good with like references to psychological terms and like you were going one dimensional or something like that, or we're going abstract thoughts. Like
that scene was so cool. I was like, wow, that is such a like clever idea. And then like, it's just the animators must have had so much fun with that too. And
I'm sure
they had to do a lot of work for that sequence. I'm sure.
Yeah,
it's so much different than the rest of the movie.
Absolutely, and the voice cast is great. Amy Poehler's phenomenal.
Amy Poehler's great. I like
this
her.
movie made me like what the fudge is Megan McCarthy? Is that her name?
Megan Fox.
Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, Melissa McCarthy. Oh, yeah, that's right.
She's Sadness, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I actually think she did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, she did great.
Role. So
really good.
I'd give it B, and I'm good to throw Inside Out 2 and B as well.
Okay, I have not seen Inside Out 2 yet.
Yeah, it's great actually. I loved it. In fact, I feel so similar about these two movies. I guess my only real complaints with this movie is that it is so similar that like, it feels like I've just kind of watched the same movie, except for I think Riley's part in it is a lot better and a lot funner.
Mm-hmm.
I hate how they introduced so many new characters because they only really focused on one.
Yeah,
they really only focused on anxiety. I would say those two, boom, like right next to each other type thing.
For sure. Yeah. I feel like I don't have an opinion at all. That's that's what I'm feeling. That's what you guys clicked for.
So you haven't seen Good Dinosaur then, right?
I haven't. I've heard not so good things. Huh? I've heard bad dino reviews. Yeah? Really bad?
There's only one other Pixar movie I think belongs in that. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Because, man, I'm not someone who walks out of movies. If I've paid for a movie or if I've started a movie, I'm going to finish it.
For sure. Yeah, that's
I
a good point.
contemplated so hard. I just didn't care. It did one creative thing. It's making the human more like a dog and like the dinosaurs more like people. They kind of that was creative, I guess. But in my opinion, they just did nothing with it.
So what is it? Just boring, or is it like actively I hate this? Like, is it annoying?
It's not. Okay, it's a fail for Pixar. For me to say that this is like the worst movie ever invented, like it's not dangerous for your kids to watch. It's not a bad influence movie. It's not that they didn't finish it or anything. It really is just that for the quality of all the other Pixar movies, this one deserves the F amongst all others except for one.
Damn. Okay. And that's not Cars.
Surprisingly not Cars.
That's crazy.
I at least somewhat enjoyed Cars, and Owen Wilson was funny.
Fair enough. Yeah. Owen Wilson. What a guy.
Wow.
Okay, for sure. Coco, thank you. Okay. I was like, I don't know if he's gonna agree with me or not.
That one's too hard too. This is a movie where I watched it again the minute I finished the movie, and I've never done that before or since.
Yeah. So Up was one of those films where I was like, that made me bawl my eyes out. I don't think that I have ever cried as much as I have when I first watched Coco. I was in shambles, dude. Oh my God.
I was pretty done.
It was
that's
crazy. And it came out the year that one of my grandmas passed away too.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was extra crying because I was like, man, I gotta show this to my mom. And then I found out she already watched it, and I was like thinking about how she felt too. Like, I was like, fuck, dude.
And she was probably like, it was just okay.
Yeah, she's like, oh, what a nice movie.
Yeah.
No, it's
that's the music, the visuals, the acting, the story. I mean, there's not one part of this movie that wasn't, I would say, perfect.
It's
okay. Perfection doesn't exist.
Perfection doesn't exist, but goddamn, does this movie like get so close to just like really nailing that, like everything that it's going for. It represents like Mexican culture really well. It understands what it's doing, and it understands like what story it's telling with that as like the setting. And it just it's so fuck dude, watch Coco.
Yeah,
it's so
phenomenal.
good. It's so fucking good.
10 out of 10.
Oh god, if you're one of those people who's like, wow, I can't believe that they make all these things for diversity or whatever, fuck you. Coco's so fucking good. It's the perfect example against that.
That is the I don't even want to pretend that was just said like that. I can't stand that at all. Okay, moving on. I don't think you saw Onward, right?
I have seen Onward.
Okay.
I really, really liked it.
I love it.
It is such a fun. It's like, it's weird because I think it is a B tier film, but I personally wonder if I would like put it in an A tier, because I think it's just so. It's weird too, because I feel like a lot of people were like, "Oh, this one's okay." And a lot of people treat it like a C tier kind of thing. I watched it with my sister, and it's such a good sibling movie.
Yeah, and
makes you feel like a lot of shit.
So
I hugged my sister afterwards.
I'm A tier too. I'll put it at the lower end of A tier.
Okay.
Because I do think it has some problems. I do think.
Oh, definitely. I think it does have problems, and I don't care about that. Like, despite the problems,
but fuck your problems.
Fuck yeah! What a fun fucking sort. Oh.
I mean, really though, like, I didn't see it with my brother, but I do have a brother who's a very similar age difference to these two main characters. And like, yeah, it's definitely a sibling movie. It's a sibling story. Hits hard that way. I really wish that I liked the world better. I think the world being like all modernized was like creative for a second, but I don't feel like enough was done with it.
Yeah, I think it was. Boring. It didn't justify like why it was that way. It didn't really feel like, oh yeah, I get it. They totally had to do that because it does this with the movie, and it's like, no, it's just it feels like kind of gimmicky, but I don't care.
No, of course not. The dad was funny. I love that you don't see the dad. I love it so much.
Yeah,
the main character made a sacrifice and it stuck. I respect
it stays that way, and you're like, holy shit. Like, thank God that they just keep it so like tight and they don't like deliver on the thing that you want.
Well, it's just, I hate it when movies have sacrifices or stories in general have sacrifices that don't matter. Like,
right. They're like, oh, and then everything's fine. Actually,
yeah, you get what you sacrifice for anyway. Like, fucking Frozen 2 is the worst at that. Frozen 2 makes a sacrifice, and then it's just like, well, actually, never mind. You don't actually suffer from it. You're good. And it's like, what the fuck's the point of the sacrifice? Why do I care as the viewer?
Yeah.
This movie, it sticks to it. It sticks to its guns. I love it.
Okay.
Let's move on to Soul. I'm curious how you feel about Soul.
So as a creative and as someone who is, I think, still kind of having this struggle to understand like what it is that drives me creatively, which I think is very much like what it's about, and about like how it defines you as a person and all that stuff. It resonates with me in a lot of ways, but I don't know. I think I would probably still put this in B tier.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit you then, because I did not like this movie.
Oh.
I did view it at first from the perspective of someone who likes to create. I enjoy being creative, and because of that, I liked this character. But I had the unfortunate case of watching this with my brother, and he is not the creative type at all.
Yeah.
So he pointed out the entire time that I was like, yeah, man, like, go for your dreams. Like, I get it. The entire time I'm doing that, my brother's pointing out like, dude, what a fucking asshole. I was like, what? He's like, he's really giving up like security just to play some music. Like, this kind of like this dude's not ground. Like I have trouble rooting for this guy.
Yeah.
Why do I care about this guy?
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought about it. Like it made sense to me. The more I thought about it, I was like, man, I was only really rooting for him because I want my dreams to come true.
Yeah.
Like, for looking at it, this dude fucking blows. Like, he does. He's kind of a dick.
Well, I mean, like, that's kind of his arc, right? Is that he's like, I gotta do this. I have to do this. And it's like, the only person telling him that is himself. And that is the thing that I have personally struggled, like, had and done to myself in many points in my life. And I'm like, wow, it pisses me off a little bit to see it happen to somebody else too. Like, I'm like, fuck, like, why is he doing this to himself? Like, who says he has to do this? And then he reaches that, sorry, I guess spoilers for Soul. He reaches it, and then the scene where the like lady that he plays with is like, then you just do this the next day, and then you do this the next day. It's called work. And he's like, oh. It's like this beautiful like realization that like reaching your dreams isn't the end all be all. And like he has to go through this journey of thinking that, and then to finally realize like, oh no, you just have to like make the most of your life on your own, and like you have to just learn to be a fucking like good person and care about shit. And then the thing I don't like about the film is that it doesn't really show him doing that. It really is just him doing that in the last like 2 minutes of the film, kind of. It just like kind of breezes past him actually like changing, and you're like, oh
yeah,
all right. I guess I do wish that the ending was better. I think that part kind of stinks for me, but the rest of it, I'm like, that's pretty dang good. Also, I don't know, the soul world stuff is a little kind of like, I could have done without it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But are you convincing me that I don't like this as much as I thought I do?
I'm kind of hoping. But also, remind me if I'm wrong, I think this movie has the problem that I was just saying about Frozen 2. Doesn't he make a sacrifice to let the Tina Fey live, and then he doesn't have to deal with the consequences? He gets a life anyway?
He does get a life anyway.
So I hate it again for that. I hate that.
Yeah, I think there are ways to do it. I don't remember if it did it well, in which like it's like, oh, okay, well, I can understand why that happened, and it still felt consequential because like people learned things. I don't remember if it really was necessary or not, in my opinion. I have to rewatch it, but I am comfortable putting this below a B tier.
I want to see it.
Okay.
I want to see it.
I can accept that. I can accept it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
If it was up to me, that'd be deep. But Luca, you haven't finished Luca.
I haven't, but from what I've seen, I would put it in a B tier. I think I saw about
it's solid B. Solid B movie.
A third to half of the movie, and I want them. I know they're not going to because they suck. Because like corporate Disney sucks. Yeah. Not the animators themselves. That's what I'm about to praise. The animation, so fucking good.
Oh, gorgeous. Lovely.
Love the style. I love the way that they like played with the art style so much. It's so unique and like different from other films, and it like really feels like its own thing, and you're just like, wow, it like had so much personality. And I'm like, wow, I love this. That was so good. The characters are so fun and cute.
They're fun. They're cute. They have the good jokes. I love the locale. It looks great. It sounds great. The music's awesome. I have no issues with this movie. Now,
yeah. Okay.
Moving on to one. Did you see Turning Red?
Okay. So these last three films I haven't seen.
These last three at all?
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen all of them.
Okay.
So I wish we could end more climactically, but
that's fair.
Yes,
you know what? That'll be that part. So Turning Red, I also similarly love the art style, the ways that the characters are designed. Fucking like peak to me.
They're cute. They work very well to tell the story. They're cartoonish and fun. I like Turning Red more than most people.
Oh yeah.
Not more than most people, but I genuinely enjoyed it a lot.
I'm the biggest Turning Red fan of all time.
No, it's a very, very well-made story about the coming of age for a young girl in the 90s, specifically in Canada. And of Asian. I'm just explaining the character at this point. It's a very, very well-made story in that regard.
Yeah.
The visuals are awesome. Where a lot of people lose it is it's very cringy.
Okay.
The main characters, like, they have their best friend clique, and they're all about Four Town, and they like, you know, squeal.
I've seen the clips of like the friend group and all that. And that shit's hilarious.
Well, the thing is, like, this person, the director, just nailed children. Like, that's just how children act.
Yeah.
And they nailed it. Like, they have a lot of good jokes about that. The panda being a very obvious euphemism for period or their
puberty in general.
Very, very well done. Very good jokes on that front as well. I'm good to give it like a high B.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Totally.
If
I like just looking at it, I think I would probably put it in a B tier. I know I go into movies biased. I don't care. I love the things that I've seen of it in enough to put it there. I know you're gonna put that in fail. Yeah, I've heard.
Oh my gosh.
I know the twist, and when I found out what the twist was, I thought that the person was like shit posting. I was like, there's no fucking way.
It's dumb. It's all dumb. I think Chris Evans did his gosh darndest best.
Yeah.
But and I'm not putting it down there because I'm homophobic. I'm throwing that out there now because I'm sick and tired of that being brought up.
Yeah.
It's a bad movie.
Casey doesn't hate gay people in public.
No, I hate all people, especially gays.
Especially those darn LGBTs.
Like, freaking, it's pacing is god awful. It's one of those unnecessary movies. We don't need to see the movie that was Andy's favorite. We don't. And then they changed the lore right now. Zurg is how stupid. And then the cat character is kind of annoying. In fact, honestly, all the characters except for Buzz are forgettable.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, it did look great, but it was such a bad movie. I would not watch it again if given the opportunity.
Would you say that it's worse than The Good Dinosaur?
Yes.
Yeah? So it's like, that's your very, very bottom Pixar movie?
That has been the worst, unless Cars 2 is that as awful as everyone says, that is the worst Pixar movie in my opinion.
Damn. Even then, I think Cars 2 would probably be above it because it's got Mater.
Does got Terminator with
I don't think we give Larry the Cable Guy enough praise. I think he's
Larry
funny.
the Cable Guy. No, he was very bearable in the first one.
Yeah.
Elemental.
Okay,
Elemental.
so from what I have seen, I want to say, I think
Cars.
you're gonna put it in like. I think you're gonna put it in like a B tier. From what I've seen, I think a lot of people would put it in like C tier.
Yes. A lot of people consider it a C, and I don't truthfully understand.
I get it. Well, I get like. Actually, you know what's weird is I feel like when this came out, everybody was like, "Oh, this movie looks like shit. It looks like dog ass or whatever," because the advertising made it seem like one of those like,
showed like nothing.
He's right behind me, isn't he? Kind of fucking like writing styles. And then like people went and saw it and they were like, "Oh, that was like actually all right." So I don't know what to expect, but like the way people came out of it, they were like, "Oh, you know what? It wasn't as bad as I was thinking." C tier. You know.
Yeah, I don't know why it gets all the hate it does, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've seen some reviewers on it, and like, I honestly, in my heart of hearts, believes that it's, if not a high B, it's an A. I think it's that fun. I think it's that good. I love the animation. Like I could stare at that animation forever. I would rewatch this movie just for that. But the characters are super fun too. I love the story that it's telling. Like that it's not just about immigrants, but it's about second generation immigrants. And like it's about like the trials that you deal with there. Like you have to fight society, but you kind of also have to fight your parents, like in a way, but also love them. And you like society too. It's a very good movie. Maybe could have been better. I would vote hard for a B. I would vote hard for it.
Okay. Yeah. Go. You put that in, girl.
Yeah.
Shit, I ain't gonna fight you.
You sure tried.
Go piss.
Can we? Looking at this now,
I think I could put Toy Story in A.
I was just supposed to say
I think that's fine. Yeah.
supposed to say that. It deserves the.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, let's bump that up.
Okay, so that's bumped up. Let's put Cars in Cars.
As it should, as we all
Where
know.
it belongs. Cars.
Cars?
Okay, this is the real fight. S tier.
Okay.
What's going down to A?
Fuck.
This is gonna be a tough one.
It's tough because these are my 4 favorite Pixar films.
They're kind of up there for me too.
Yeah.
I think they are actually my 4 favorite as well.
I think. Oh fuck, man. I think if I had to put one of them below, shit. Fuck.
I would choose Finding Nemo.
See, it's in my mind. I'm saying it's between Finding Nemo and Wall-E that I'd put down. And it tells me that Incredibles and Coco are like my top 2.
I respect that. I'm gonna drop this. High A, easy high A.
It hurts me inside because like Finding Nemo is one of my is just like such a beautiful, like the underwater, the way that they light it so well. I don't know how they make it look so beautifully underwater. This is 2003, I think, mind you.
It came out in 2003. Yeah,
they had like water lighting down to a fucking T. Still, like that holds up so well. And you just like, if you ever worked in games or like any animation thing, you just are like, how the fuck? That's so crazy. It's so beautiful. And like, I'm a sucker for like Odyssey movies too. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, it deserves. All the characters are memorable.
They're so memorable.
Every single one of them.
The like, shark, relationships are so meaningful. Ellen DeGeneres isn't like dog shit, I guess.
It's a great
in
movie.
the film.
Now for these 3, I'm gonna say, honestly, to be as fair as possible, I am willing to drop Wall-E.
Yeah.
To be as fair as possible. Again, it's my favorite of all time, but I can understand if I'm looking as objectively as I can possibly do, which is very hard to do, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, the second half of Wall-E being not as strong as the first does hold it back when compared to these 2 films.
That's fair. I think that those 2 films they're just like so like all the way through like nonstop. Dare I say incredible. Coco.
Yeah. Dare I say un poco loco.
All right.
So between these 2, this is going to be the hardest fight ever.
Yeah. I think. Can I make my choice here?
You're already going to make it? I'm not going to move it yet. Excuse me. I'm not going to move it yet, but make your choice.
I think if I'm looking at these 2 as films, and it's so hard to say because they're so fucking amazing, I think I would probably pick Incredibles.
To go down or to stay up?
To stay up as the S tier pick, yeah.
That's such a tough one.
I know.
Why? Explain it.
It's just like I don't think Pixar's hit like such a tightly written film like as the Incredibles. Like the animation of all of these impeccable, but like the writing I think does like separate all of these at the end of it, and like I just can't think of anything I don't like about The Incredibles.
Really?
I can't. It's like so start to finish, just fucking like, just like, wow. All of these characters have all of these different like things that they have to like struggle with, and they figure it out, and it makes a lot of sense. Maybe Dash is like the weakest of the family in terms of like things he has to deal with, but even he has his own like arc and all of that, and it makes a lot of sense. And the like whole tension between like Mr. Incredible and that like yearning for like the glory days, and the understanding of like wanting that, but then like needing to have to change anyways, and still like go back to it, but for a completely different reason. And you're just like, fuck, man, that is like, it's so, oh god, Brad Bird.
Brad Bird,
you bastard, you motherfucker.
I mean, you said something that really did stick out. I can't think of anything I don't like about Incredibles.
Yeah,
I genuinely can't.
Yeah,
I genuinely think all of it was handled correctly. I think it's the perfect family movie. Even as dark as we called it earlier, it like all ages. I think all ages can have fun with this movie, and there's just something for everybody. Adults, like kids, everyone's gonna come to this movie and have a great time. I'm gonna agree with you. I
put Coco in the Cars tier. Let's see it. No, please.
Shit movie.
No, please.
All right. Well, that, I mean, unless you have some last minute changes, I think that's going to wrap it up.
Let's put, let's put Incredibles 2 in the Cars tier, and let's call it a day. And
let's rename it. Let's rename it.
What, are you typing it already?
Cars.
Cars. I'm very sure now.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming. Hopefully you enjoyed this. You know what? Maybe there's something here. Maybe there's no entertainment at all. Hey, let us know.
Let us know.
Hey, this didn't hit for you. Just be like, yo, this isn't for me. Or something
Hey,
cool.
be like, this is the worst ever. Dislike the video and then comment that you disliked it.
Play video games again.
Go play Tuber. I couldn't think of a video game name.